More memories of the AmaZulu traditional Prime Minister. Mosiuoa Lekota is the founder of the organization, the Congress of the People. Before that, played a long role in the ANC as national chair of the African National Congress. And before that, during the 1980s, was jailed for his role as a leader of the UDF. Mr. Lekota, good afternoon to you, sir. How will you remember Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi?
Good afternoon to you and to the listeners. I think I'll always remember the late Mangosuthu Buthelezi as a determined opponent of apartheid. Even though he was regarded by very many people as a supporter of apartheid, in fact, he was not. He made it quite clear that he would not accept independence under apartheid, because that would be tantamount to legitimizing white rule over the black sections of the population. And it would also mean that he had turned his back on the African National Congress, to which he had actually been a member, in my understanding, an ordinary member of the African National Congress. Now, of course, what happened is that when the ANC took up to armed struggle, very many people did not join Umkhonto weSizwe. Because if you wanted to take up arms, you would have had to join Umkhonto weSizwe and take the oath of allegiance to Umkhonto weSizwe. But very many of us who supported the struggle against apartheid did not necessarily become members of Umkhonto weSizwe, although we accepted that sections of the membership of the African National Congress had felt so strong against it that they made the deliberate choice of becoming members of the armed struggle, members of Umkhonto weSizwe.
And Mr. Lekota, if I may interrupt, and I'm sorry, sir, there have been key moments, key moments that Prince Buthelezi played. And I think for many people, perhaps younger people, 1994 was the key moment. We needed to have democratic elections. We needed the elections to happen. There were big question marks about whether he, as the leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party, would enter the elections. There's a famous story about how he was refusing, how a plane that he was on had to turn back to an airport, and there an American negotiator convinced him, goes the story, a religious leader, I think, convinced him to join the elections. How important was that?
Well, it was that situation was a tricky situation because it was not clear whether joining the negotiations would mean collaborating with apartheid leaders or not. But I must say that he took the position that he would never accept independence under the apartheid rule. And I think he was not sure as to, at the beginning, it was not quite clear and sure as to whether that meant the end of apartheid, etc. But he did come to terms with the fact that if the African National Congress was part of the negotiations under which freedom would come, then that actually is what my understanding was, that he recognized that and he decided that he would, without accepting independence of apartheid, he accepted that he would be part of the negotiation process as championed by the African National Congress. Now, and that's how he went into this process of being part of negotiating. And it explains why, ultimately, to serve even under the government of national unity as the Minister of Home Affairs, which was led by President Mangosuthu.
There are many different things that people will remember. What will you remember about Prince Buthelezi? Will you remember maybe what happened in the 1970s and his role in KwaZulu? Will you remember maybe his role as an elder statesman in the National Assembly, trying to bring peace when people were trying to disrupt Parliament sometimes?
Well, I will remember him as having been loyal to the cause of the African section of the population. And that when in the end, he accepted being part of all of us, black and white, which was the policy of the African National Congress, if you will remember, flowing from the 1955 Congress of the People, to which, by the way, Chief Albert Luthuli had been the president of the African National Congress overall. When he joined that and joined the the initiative that was under the initiative of the African National Congress, I think he underlined the fact that he had always been loyal to the African National Congress. I am very sensitive to the question of saying simply because he did not take up armed struggle, therefore it meant he was not loyal to the struggle against apartheid. I mean, I never took a decision to join the armed struggle, even though I sympathized totally with it. But I never took a decision to do that. Also, even on the advice of the African National Congress leadership itself, we said it was not necessary for all of us to take up to arms, as long as we expressed our opposition to apartheid. So I think that looking back with hindsight, I do think that he remained loyal. And I'll remember him as having remained loyal to the struggle against apartheid.
Mosiuoa Lekota, sir, thank you very much indeed for your time and your memories today.